Going down from
You're going down
more expensive to the less expensive.
less expensive.
And you actually have more capabilities with the Apple TV than you do with the other stuff. You don't have to calibrate and all that stuff that you used to have to do.
So it's actually a better.
Yeah, it's more efficient use of our money.
Okay.
And the thing is, we're dealing with schools that are aging schools, and this is the dynamic, and I told you this yesterday. Number one, we have the dynamic in this state now of being very far behind other states in the acquisition of technology.
Right.
And that's everything from the electrical infrastructure to your wireless capacity to your bandwidth capabilities. And all those things matter now because so much of today's state testing is done online. And it's very practical because you get almost instantaneous feedback from it. So that's important to us, that we're getting that data back immediately. Secondly, you're dealing with aging buildings, and we've got some brand new buildings around. Pascagoula-Gautier would be considered brand new buildings, but those two high schools were built back in '96. So you're talking about 20-year-old buildings now.
Yeah.
And that means they have
20
20-year-old roofs. You have, the bathrooms, the fixtures are 20 years old. So at some point you've got to start replacing all these things. And part of that MAEP dollar, and we're short $2.4 million based on full funding of MAEP. You have to go float a loan if you don't have money in reserve. And each of us in the state of Mississippi keep a cash fund balance. And that balance, what a lot of people don't understand about it, say, let's look at Pascagoula, and we hold about a $10 million fund balance. Okay, but that's not really a true number, because in December, that fund balance goes almost down to zero, because that's towards the end of the year, and we're waiting on the new taxes to come in order to make our payroll. We have to have that fund balance in place. And that's something that a lot of people don't see, and they say, oh, well, they've got $10 million in their fund balance, make them use that. Well, if you use that, then you don't have money to pay your salaries towards the end of the year.
Have said the ultimate goal is to privatize education.
Yeah. And I would tell you that that's a much more expensive way of doing business, and I can explain it on several levels. Charter schools are more expensive than public schools. If you're trying to duplicate schools, you're number one, increasing the number of districts you have. Number two, you've got to set up a building that wasn't formally set up for education. Number three, you're taking existing tax dollars from local and state allotments and trying to set up a separate school, but you're not going to replace all the students out of that school. So you're still having to maintain that school plus cover the expenses of another school that aren't part of your school district. Well, and when the day comes that I am prohibited by law to speak on behalf of the children and the communities that I'm responsible for, then on that day I become an outlaw. Because children are the reason that we're here, and we're going to do everything we can to give them the best opportunity. And there are years of experience and years of education behind us, and there are a lot of dynamics that go into educating a child. And as much as we'd love to have all A schools at the elementary schools, we don't have children who come to us at the same learning level or the same language level. And poverty has played a role in some kids' development as it relates to their academic performance. And so our goal is to see how far we can move them by the time they're seniors in high school.